Matthew Entwistle has a question. He says, how fervently should I pray for the possibility of marriage being included in God's will for my life? It's always felt pointless to considering that it's likely God may not ever give it in my life. Matthew, I feel unqualified to tell you what your private prayer life, and as you pour out your heart before God, what you should or shouldn't pray for, like marriage. I'm more interested in suggesting that as you pray about marriage, that you do so submitted to the will of God, recognizing that it's a great desire in your life, but that it doesn't become an actual idol. You know, like, if I don't get this, my whole life is unfulfilled. Lord, what was the purpose of me? That's where you're like, wait, why is my entire life wrapped up in this thing? It's a good thing. It's a great thing. In general, I would say marriage is a good thing to pray for because marriage is a good thing. You know, it's kind of like saying, should I stop praying for the salvation of my friends? Why would you feel you should? But I feel like they'll never get saved. But like, why would you stop praying though? Like, why not just keep praying and asking that God does a work in their lives? So I don't see why there'd be a rule for you to stop praying, except just to guard your heart and say, I want to say, Lord, you are still enough for me. You are still good enough for me. And I can still be content with the life that I have right now. But you getting married is not only dependent upon whether God has somebody who he's going to put in your path and you're going to get married to. What we don't see in Scripture is an entirely passive attitude towards marriage, which is what I sort of felt like I should have in my younger years. And I slowly came to realize that I think that was my baggage and it wasn't Scripture. People would describe for me Isaac and Rebekah, and how Isaac was just sitting in a field waiting there and doing nothing. He did nothing to seek out Rebekah, right? And then here comes Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, with Rebekah, his new wife, who he brought from the foreign land and brought over to them. And then it's like, boom, you know, wait till God brings you your Rebekah, Mike. Wait till God brings you you just focus on these things. Don't even seek or look for a girl or anything like that. And as I started looking at that scripture in more context, I was like, wait a minute, that's only part of the story. Abraham literally was so focused on finding a wife for his kid that he sent his servant into a foreign land with a whole bunch of money and was like, show them that we're wealthy, that we'll provide, that we'll take care of, find the right girl. The servant like does a test on her about giving camels water and stuff to see if she has integrity and character. And then he barters with the family and then brings her and she agrees and goes and marries Isaac. Like, yeah, Isaac was sitting in the field because he literally had someone arranging his marriage for him. So he's sitting in the field. My point here is that you don't see examples in the scripture that are telling you that you can't seek a bride, that you can't go out and actively look for a wife and say, there's a pretty girl. There's a girl who seems like she's serious about the Lord, who seem like we would have some things in common. And maybe we can go out and get some coffee or go out and watch, maybe watching a movie is kind of lame because you don't even talk, but we can go out and do something together so that we can get to know each other better. So that we can, or maybe you're serving in ministry, so you don't need to do that because they're right alongside you. You already have a way of getting to know them. It's okay to pursue somebody else. Just do it with integrity. Don't defraud them sexually. Don't try to get the benefits of marriage without the commitment of marriage and all that kind of stuff. But it's okay to pursue things. So I hope that some of that counsel helps you. I'm sharing that with you because those were things I didn't understand and no one ever explained it to me in a way that made sense. Not that it's their fault. Maybe it's my brain. Like, they would just be like, what's your problem there, Matt? You know, and I just like, well, tell me what my problem is. And they were like, I don't know, go away. So that, if someone had taken the time to explain it to me that way, I think it would have clicked. I think I would have understood at a younger age, and hopefully that does some benefit to you, Matthew.